Hey there, all you maniacs. It is matchup preview time. Thursday, it's time for your commish to drop some knowledge on you punk asses, let you know who's going to win, who's going to lose, and how it's going to go down this week. So here we go. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Matchup preview number one, the King in the North, your commissioner, defending reigning champion of your league against Grand Wizard Aaron. Jason, of course, taking a quick shot to the unrepentant racist and total piece of human garbage, Aaron Rodgers. This matchup, it could be a tight one here. I mean, Jason's got some great players and they got some great matchups. And I can't do this with a straight face, guys. Jason's going to get clobbered in this matchup. This is going to be vicious. And Jason, don't let your kids watch this. All right. I don't want them to think less of you after you get stomped out this week. It's going to be bad. You know, anybody that cares for Jason's well-being, make sure you're checking in with him on Sunday. Make sure he's okay, because this is going to be like Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder's mother. It's going to be a brutal, vicious beating. Lamar Jackson, if it just to make things worse, is at home against Jason's favorite team. So Lamar is both going to be laying the smack down on him in fantasy and in real life. That's tough, man. That's rough. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Terry McLaurin, Sterling Shepard, what a massive advantage over Tyler Boyd, Brandon Cooks, and Jacoby Myers. Jesus. And you just talk about this. It's ridiculous. You got Aaron Jones and Jonathan Taylor, both with semi-easy matchups, especially Aaron Jones at home against Washington, versus Michael Carter at New England and Joe Mixon at Baltimore. Come on, guys. All right. Well, I guess I got to do a bold prediction for each side of this. Bold prediction, Jason does not cross 70 fantasy points, and his leading scorer will be the Denver defense. Bold prediction on my side of things, I will be the highest scoring team in the league this week. And I'm going to say Antonio Gibbs season, 2 touchdowns for Antonio Gibson. Not necessarily a huge yardage game, but I do think he punches it in twice, for the brothers against the Green Bay Packers. I don't think he's going to take kindly to Aaron Rodgers' racist comments, and he's going to get in the end zone twice. So there you go. There's your first matchup. Now, we got Bill O'Brien, Jared, versus Viva Las Vegas Vetri. Starting Ryan Tannehill is a gutsy call. He has one game over 15 fantasy points this season. It came 4 weeks ago, but he is at home against the Chiefs. And if ever there was a get right spot, that's it. Matt Ryan, I don't know what to tell you, Jared. You're screwed this week. Matt Ryan sucks. Antonio Brown, T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley versus Devontae Adams, Cortland Sutton, Robbie Anderson. Devontae Adams is going to eat this week, but I still got to give the slight edge to Jared there. Jared's running back situation is absolutely despicable. So is Vetri's, but I think Vetri gets the nod at running back. You got to give Waller the nod over Gesicki. All right, let's go bold prediction time for these two ass clowns. Let's start with the Sauls Maniac here. My bold prediction for Jared here. I'm going to say DeAndre Swift gets it done against the Rams. I'm going to say 100 yards and a touchdown, 16-plus fantasy points, DeAndre Swift against the Rams. Now, on Vetri's side of things, I'm going to say Leonard Fournette gets shut down by the Chicago Bears to the tune of less than 8 fantasy points. The Bears are going to shut him down. You can't really run on the Bears. You can definitely throw on them. I'm going to give the win here, though. Sorry, Jared, you lost again. Jared's going to get right back to his losing ways. Vetri gets the dub. Done deal. Now, you have Aaron the Racist versus Tractor Cedo season. So Reese versus Senior. You'll probably get the Klansman's best game of the year at home against Washington. He really hasn't had an explosion week other than, beating up on the Detroit Powder Puffs earlier this year. But I do think you're going to get 30 plus out of Aaron this week. He's going to have a big week. Washington's banged up. They have no chance at stopping the Packers offense. It's going to get ugly. But speaking of not having any chance at stopping the opposing offense, Matt Stafford revenge game at home against Detroit. So you got Stafford, Kupp, Woods, and Henderson all at home against Detroit. They should all eat in this matchup. They should all do just fine. Derrick Henry at home against Kansas City. Jesus, that could be bad. Bold prediction, though. Derrick Henry goes for his worst fantasy game in 3 weeks in this matchup. So all he has to do is score less than 23.7 to make that come true. So it's actually not all that bold. But that's what I'm going to say. He scores less than 23.7 fantasy points this week. Take it to the bank. It's happening. Derrick Henry, the downfall begins this week. All right, from going from 30-something points a week to just 22 like a normal megastar. Now, on Senior side of things, bold prediction time. I'm going to go with Alvin Kamara leads all running backs in fantasy points this week. I'm saying minimum projection, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Seahawks have no chance. It'll be a showcase game. We know what Kamara does in prime time. Kamara's going to rip them apart. So with that being said, who gets the win in this matchup? It's going to be a tight one. I just can't pick against Reese having all these Rams against Detroit. But I'm going to anyway. Reese, you're going to lose. Suck it. So Reese loses. Senior wins. Suck it, Reese. Now, we got the Brady Bunch versus your deepest fantasy. So we got Justin versus Joe. This is an interesting matchup because you're both awful. So who's worse? Let's go through this line by line. Kyler Murray and Nuke, revenge game against the Texans at home. I like that. Tom Brady and AJ Green. Oh, my God. For a guy that was so worried about his bye weeks, you didn't stop to look that they're playing the Texans and it's the revenge game for Nuke. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. AJ Green's not playable in this matchup. He's going to play him anyway. It's not going to result in anything. Chris Godwin, I think the Bears are going to shut that Bucs offense down. Not really. I really don't believe that. I think that it's going to be a field day for the passing game for the Bucs. Brady's going to go off. I don't think you can play Odell. I don't think he actually winds up suiting up tonight. Probably should pivot off of that. I certainly would not like to play 2 Bears wideouts. The Bears are getting about 200 passing yards a game. So that's probably not going to go your way if you play Robinson and Mooney. Melvin Gordon, he's bad and it's a bad matchup. Chuba Hubbard, he's bad and it's an okay matchup. All right, bold prediction. I'm going to do a joint one for you two. This will be the lowest scoring game in the league this week, and it will be the lowest scoring running back game for the top, I'm going to say between D'Ernest Johnson, Eli Mitchell, Melvin Gordon, and Chuba Hubbard. Between those 4, they will score less than any 4 running back combination in a matchup has scored this season. Those are all borderline droppable guys. But there you go. So who's going to win this toilet bowl of a matchup, which is probably a golden douche preview? I'm going to give the nod to Justin. I think Kyler Murray and Nuke go ballistic. It leads Justin to the W. So there you go, and Joe's downfall continues. Now, we have the Spanish Last Dance versus Ain't My Last Dance. So Heyman versus Tony Jr. This is an interesting matchup as well. So Tua Tagovailoa actually starting in somebody's fantasy lineup. Never thought I'd live to see the day. Tyler Lockett, absolutely useless without Russell Wilson. He was trending towards useless with Russell Wilson. So, I don't want anything to do with that loser. Hollywood Brown and Jamar Chase could both eat, though. That could be a sneaky shootout, the Ravens-Bengals. Love the Mike Davis trade for you this week. That was a good move. Solid depth addition. James Conner is an absolute pile of dog shit. He's a loser. He's not going to do anything. That leads me to my bold prediction for Heyman. James Conner, less than 8 fantasy points in this game. Yes, even at home against Houston. The short touchdowns are going to Nuke this week. So Conner's not going to get the touchdowns. I think Edmonds will break off a long touchdown run as well. So I just don't think Conner's going to get the opportunity. Now, on Tony's side of things, this is going to come down to hold on a second. Jesus Christ. Are you starting Brandon Ayuk? Guys, am I reading this correctly? Is that Brandon Ayuk in Tony's line? Is that right?
He still plays football?
We didn't even know this guy was still in the league. We thought he was in the CFL. Dude, do yourself a favor. Cut Brandon Ayuk and go get you a guy that actually plays wide receiver in the NFL. Brandon Ayuk has 15.8 fantasy points on the season. On the season. You understand? There have been single plays that resulted in that many fantasy points. That's insane. That's a 90-yard touchdown. He has one. That's it on the entire season. You can't play Brandon Ayuk. That's insane. Not sure Latavius Murray suits up. If he does, I'm not sure he's worth playing anyway. Alex Collins looks like he's going to suit up, but at home against New Orleans, it's a garbage matchup. Tony's big hope is Mahomes and Kelsey. Bold prediction, I'm going to say Brandon Ayuk, less than 4 fantasy points. Get him the hell off your team, man. What are you doing? If you drop Brandon Ayuk, nobody's going to pick him up. Hey, Senior, would you pick up Brandon Ayuk if he was in free agency?
Nope.
Joe, would you pick up Brandon Ayuk if he was in free agency? No. So you hear it. Those are no's, guys, and not just no's, but an emphatic hell no from Mr. Garbade. Joe's team's in a downward spiral, and he doesn't want it. So, what are we doing here? So I'm going to go ahead and pick Heyman for the easy W since Tony's not taking this matchup seriously enough to start guys that play in the NFL. And there you go, guys. There's your matchup previews. And I will see you guys on Tuesday or Wednesday next week where I recap my vicious beatdown of Jason. See you later. Good luck to everybody but Jason. There you go.